Yarr! And welcome to another episode of where zombies teach us to be as awesome as we can possibly be. And yes, I've got a new hat. Now today we have an absolute champion of a legend on the show. She's written over 200 books, including like Doodle Dum Dancing and My First Day at School. There's been books about Bindi Irwin, there's been Dance Academy books, and of course the world-storming, amazing Ella Diaries. Now, her name is Meredith Costain, and Meredith is hiding out at George Ivanov's old zombie safe house. And we know what happened to George, don't we? Yes, bad news there. Now we're going to see if Meredith has stopped drinking her pina coladas and is available to talk to us right now. Yarr! Hello? Hello, Meredith? Meredith, are you there? Hello? Oh, she's dancing. Hello, Meredith, can you hear me?
Oh. Yeah, well, yeah, hello?
Hello! So good to see you safe in the zombie apocalypse. Meredith, welcome to
Oh, look, thank you. Look, let me just take off my glasses so
Okay.
I can see you better. That's better. Yes? Hi there.
Hello. Well, Meredith, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, here on we know that zombies do these super amazing things that we can do as well to make ourselves super amazing. One of these things is that zombies take action, because they know that if they don't, they'll miss out. So like if a zombie's chasing you to eat your brains and they just sort of sit back and watch for a while, they know another zombie's going to come up and like bite off the back of your skull and scoop out all the brains from inside. Is it the same with writing? Like, not the zombie thing, but if you have an idea for a book and don't do anything about it, like don't even write it, is that a bad thing?
Oh, look, that's definitely a problem. I mean, a lot of people are always asking me, and lots of other writers as well, where do you get your ideas from?
Yes.
And you know, actually, they're everywhere. Just on the way here today, I saw 3 things happen that would have made great ideas for stories. The thing is, you can't just leave it at that. You've got to sort of sift through them and think, what is it about that idea that would make a good story? And you might have to add in things like settings, characters, and problems, all that sort of stuff. Then you've got a good story, but it's still in your head. There's no good still being in your head. You've got to do something with it. You've got to get it out there. So you've got to actually sit down and, hey, do some work.
Yes.
Take the headphones off. Stop chatting to your friends online.
Yep.
Stop watching TV or YouTube. Sit down and actually start writing that story.
Yes.
Otherwise it flip back out into the ether.
Ha! Yes, definitely. Now, has anyone ever written a story that you'd thought of? So, not stolen it, but like you've had an idea for a book and didn't write it, and then eventually you saw it out there on the shelves.
Well, it's not a good idea. If you do get a really good idea, it's not a good idea to sit around and just think, oh yeah, that would make a good idea. You've actually got to sit down and start writing it.
Yeah.
Now, I had one of those good ideas the other day for a series. It was about 2 things. Now I can't tell you what those 2 things are because someone else might suddenly rush off with them. But then, just last week, I saw a new series in a bookshop, and it wasn't exactly the same, but it was about the same sort of thing that I was thinking of. So if you do get a good idea, act on it, because if you don't, someone else is going to run along and they're going to pinch your good idea. Maybe they don't know they're doing it, and you've missed out.
Yeah, exactly. Now, some people didn't take action on their dreams. They sat back, and then the apocalypse hit. And so like now they're getting their brains eaten or they're zombies already. So has anything ever happened to you that made you realise you've just got to go for your dreams or else it might be too late?
Look, I have actually, that has happened to me. When I was about 8, my big dream was to be a writer. I used to sit in my bedroom and I'd scribble down lots of, actually I'd go up to the haystack because I grew up on the farm.
Yep.
And I'd go up to the haystack and I'd scribble down ideas and I'd read lots of books and I'd think the best thing in the world that I could be, that I'd really want to be, is to be a writer.
Yes.
And then I sort of, I did a bit of writing and I entered a few poetry competitions and I scribbled away. But then I just sort of, other things happened and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. And then, one day, I was actually in Paris.
Ooh la la.
And I had a bit of an argument with a car.
What?
And the car won.
Really?
I did end up with real plaster in Paris because my leg was broken in 3 places and
Oh.
my shoulder was a bit dislocated. Oh, does that remind you of anything? A bit
A little.
dislocated. So I thought, look, life is too short.
Yes.
If you really want to do something, start earlier, because then I did start, and now I'm really old. I just wished I'd started much earlier.
No, you're not old at all.
You're so kind.
Now, if you don't want to be a rider and you're just starting out, besides like rolling over for an extra hour's sleep or playing with the cat, what are some important steps you can do to take action?
Well, that's very interesting. There's an old saying that you've got to be able to crawl before you can walk. And actually, before you can crawl, you've got to be able to roll over a bit. So you can't just say, hey, today I'm going to write a book. Oh, look, I've written a book and it's a masterpiece.
Oh.
That's probably not going to happen.
No.
Just like you're not going to suddenly be able to win the marathon or play, centre forward in the footy team or be a really good goal shooter in netball. You've got to put in lots of hard yards first.
Definitely.
So the way to do that, and then the way that I had to do, was I wrote a little bit every day. Maybe I wrote something in my journal about how I felt, or I might scribble some poems, or maybe I'd invent some characters. Maybe you could draw the characters, or invent some mythical animals, or maybe you like researching lots of interesting facts and information, so you could do that. But try writing lots of different styles. And the other thing to do is to read a lot.
Yes.
Lots of different books. A lot of people have got a favourite author, and that's great.
Yep.
I like to read all the books by my favourite author.
Yeah, me too.
I try other things too.
Okay, cool. So, finally, not just for writing, but for anyone in general, is it better to like just sit back and think about your dreams, maybe talk about them, or is it better to like go out there and take action and make them happen? Like really go for it.
Well, I think it's a bit of a mix of both. I
Okay.
think it's important to spend a bit of time thinking and daydreaming and
Yes.
really working out what it is that you want to do, but then not to just sit on that. Do go out, do chase what you want to do, because as I found out, life is too short. You've got to get out there and be in it to win it.
Yes, you do, definitely. Meredith, thank you so much for joining us and for, putting your pina coladas down for a bit.